Hello, welcome to our quiz. I'm Jen, English with Jen, 123, here to offer you a lesson today. We are talking about survival. Oops, I think I've just messed this up. Hold on, I'm trying to move things around. We have a nice lesson. We have two people already who are here with us. And our topic this week is survival. And so this is not a topic where I'm trying to make people paranoid and concerned with the world and whatnot. You know, sometimes when we prepare for things, we feel better about things. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so I have a quiz for us today that is focused on creating an emergency bag. So things that you should put inside your emergency bag, should there be something bad that happens. What do you need to put in? What can you do? When you hear all the stuff that needs to go into this, I think you need a bag with a very heavy duty wheels. Hey, Lorena, hello again to you. Welcome, welcome. Let me turn off this silly banner. And there we go. And we'll pop into our first question. I'm curious to see who all is here. So go ahead and let me know if you're here and you want to be present at all. Our first question for today, I have 10 questions. And I need to go down to survival or survival quiz. Number 1, here we go. And let's see, let me move this over to here. Ta-da. And, oh, no, wait, it needs to be this one. Yes, aha, here we go. Survival number 1, here's our question. How much water should you have in your go bag? That's kind of this cute little term, go, like leave, go bag per person per day. Is it 1 liter? Is it 3.8 liters or is it 2 liters? What are you guessing? How much water should you have in your go bag? This is your escape bag. You should have a first aid bag, grab it in your car and whatever, or whatsoever, which transport you use. Okay. Hey, Secura dear. So you're guessing 1 liter. Lorena's going with 3. Okay. And I would just like to point out, Lorena's spelling is the British spelling and Secura's is the American spelling. No, whatever, potato, potato. So whichever one works best for you. So let's see. So 2 liters. Okay, you've changed your opinion. Okay, no worries. That's absolutely fine. Any other guesses? Otherwise, I'll go ahead and give the first answer. And a little drum roll. Hello, Ashley. You were in the English lesson. Awesome. Nice to have you on board. What's your guess? What do you think? 3 or too much, right? It's way too much. Imagine if you have a family of 4 people and you have to carry 3.8 liters. I mean, I'm going to need a bag for my bag, I think. So Ashley's going with 3.8. And actually, Lorena, your first guess was correct, and Ashley's guess is correct. It is recommended to have 3.8 liters of water per person in this go bag. I think it's more like drag bag. There's no way on earth I could carry that. So yes, so the official answer is 3.8. Water for drink and shower. I guess this is more drinking and like brushing your teeth, maybe light sort of rinsing off. Yeah, Anna, it's actually 3.8. Believe it or not, that's the recommended. Exactly, Mohammed, 3.8 liters. I'm surprised. It seems like a lot. And if you have a big family, that's a lot of water. I mean, it's hard to carry on a hike. No way. In a bag. Yes. Anyway, so let's move on to our next question. Oops, hold on. Let me remove this real quick and add another one. How do I do this? I'm drawing a blank. Remove from studio. Okay, sorry. So we have 11 people here now, and I'm pulling up question number 2. The first question was that if you have in your go bag, in your emergency kit bag, you should have at least 3.8 liters of water. And I think that bag needs to have massive wheels. Okay, so number 2, survival. Which of the following is considered a non non-perishable food. And I'll repeat that because it's kind of like a long and kind of complicated word. Non-perishable. So non-perishable food. Is it A, fresh veggies? Is it B, canned goods? So remember, canned is the stuff that we have in the metal container. You usually need a can opener to open it. C, frozen meat? Or D, dairy products? What can you tell me? What do you think? Which of the following is considered non-perishable food? What can you tell me? B, canned goods. Okay. Canned goods. Hello, Renee, dear. So canned goods. Okay, exactly, right? It's canned goods. But the reason why I threw this up, because I think it's interesting. We have non-perishable food. So this could also be food that is like freeze-dried. Evidently, there's freeze-dried vegetables. I've never seen that, I don't think. But you can have like food, like fruit. Sometimes you get these hydrated or dehydrated berries and things like that. I guess that's freeze dried. I don't know exactly how that's done, but that's what I'm going with. I don't really know. But so also super important is that you have, I keep thinking that I'm on my iPad. So that you have nutrient dense food. So nutrient rich, nutrient dense. So that meaning that it has a lot of vitamins. It's satiating. So it fills your belly. You don't get hungry. You have a lot of protein maybe, or you have iron, or you have different vitamins. There's a lot of nutrients. So try to have food that is, you don't need a lot of it and you still benefit a lot from it. I think also another nice way of saying sort of non-perishable in this case, you could also say long lasting, just to have another opportunity. So long lasting food, I guess that's, yeah, it's definitely canned food and lots of other things. If you would like to add any examples for these, please feel free to do so. Another nice little way of saying different things here. So frozen meat. Now, frozen meat's not so good in a go bag. You're going to want to have canned food because your go bag, remember, has really big wheels because that's going to be heavy with all that water and that heavy food. Yeah, you're going to have massive wheels, bigger than my head. But yeah, canned goods. Another nice thing is food that is easy to prepare. You know, stuff that you don't need an oven for, something that maybe you don't even need a fire for. That would be easy to prepare. So I thought these were kind of nice options for sort of expanding our vocabulary here. Non-perishable, nutrient-rich, long-lasting, and easy to prepare. Just to kind of, you know, add a little bit more to our vocab here. All right, let's move on to question number 3, and we're moving on to water. I hope I've not given anything away. I always do that. So let's find this, and let me add something about water. Here we go. Okay, maybe. Oh, no, I didn't want to move that. Here we go, add to stage. Here we go, number 3. So water purification tablets. So you have these little tablets and you can drop them in water. Can be an easy way to disinfect water. How long does it typically take to make water safe to drink? So you have a bottle of water, you put a tab in. How long does it take for you to be able to drink that and know for sure that bacteria and bad stuff has been killed? Is it 5 minutes? Is it 15 minutes? Is it 30 minutes? How long do you think? Okay, secure, you're going with 30. What else have we got? Any other answers here? 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. If you watch the movie Wild, we did that as a movie review last week. And in one scene, Reese Witherspoon gets her bucket, like a bottle, and she fills it with most disgusting looking water ever, like a puddle of water. She was so desperate for water, and she filled it up and she put one of these tabs in, shook it up, and she waited. And then, yes. So everybody's guessing C, 30 minutes, and you are correct. Now, this is something interesting because I was like, I wonder how long it takes. Like, is boiling water also an option? And how long it takes for boiling water to purify. Uh-oh. Do I not have that answer? Okay, I thought I had that answer. I was really curious about that. Because I think it's a very short period of time. So yeah, how long does it take to purify water? And I'm going to ask the bot because I think I have the answer, but I don't want to tell you Jennifer-ish. How long do you think that it takes to boil water in order? So I guess it's between 5 and 15. Good guess. Nice, good guess. That's in my range as well, I think. So let me ask the bot, how long does it take to purify water by boiling it? Boiling it. Oops. Okay, 5 minutes. Ashley, you're going with 5, okay? I actually want to say 3. I'm not sure. Let's see what the bot's taking a moment. You're very slow today, bot. Yeah. And I had the answer. I thought, because I was really interested in that. I was wondering like what it takes, what it entails to be able to boil water. I have it on flight mode because I don't want all the Instagram pings to be going off. So let's see. Let me ask my question again. Okay, 3 minutes. Lorena's going with 3. Okay, so here's the thing. Bring the water to a boil. So bubbling, 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 okay? And then keep it boiling for 1 minute or 3. This was it. And I deleted this. This is so interesting. Okay, so you only need 1 minute of this kind of bubbling water. And if you live in a high altitude, so a really high region, above 2,000 meters, then you should boil it for 3 minutes. I thought that was kind of cool. Lorena, maybe you live in a high altitude area. But yeah, so for high altitude, but I guess with the tablets, it's more convenient because you might not be able to make a fire if you need to purify water. So if you have a tablet, you can plop it in and wait 30 minutes. If you're very thirsty and you have a pot or something to boil something in and you can make a fire, then actually boiling it is easier in the long run somehow. Well, not easier, but takes less time. Let's say that if you're very, very thirsty, but then you can't drink it. You have to let it sit. Okay, never mind. Anyway, so sorry, I had to share my questions with you that I have about this whole thing. Now we're going to move on. So no 400 meters. Okay, then you only need 1 minute of boiling and your water will be safe. So let's see. We're going to move to, we talked about in our live stream. We talked in our live stream about how that it is very important nowadays with all of us being so so bound to our electronic devices that in your go bag, you should have something so that you can recharge your phone or your computer or whatever it is, your laptop maybe, so that you can have something. And that maybe it's solar powered, maybe it's hand cranked. So how much do you think this device cost? Because I was curious. I'm very curious about these things. And I was like, what would that cost, to be able to have that? So a solar or hand crank phone charger is a good way to charge your phone when the power goes out. How much do these typically cost? Okay, and I looked up the prices on the Bezos site. But yeah, I know a lot of people are not supporting that right now. But so here we go. A, is it 15 to 30 euros? Is it B, 31 to 49 euros? Or C, 50 to 100. How much will it cost you if you want to purchase a handheld or solar device? What can you tell me? I'm going to turn that off again so we don't have that going. What do you think that cost? I had no idea. I thought it like 800 euros. I had no idea. An Amazon store, more than 100, right? So any other guesses that people would like to share? Maybe in other shops it's cheaper. I don't know. So the answer is between 50 and 100. I found a lot that were around 50. I guess you also have to be careful the quality of them. So read the reviews or so. Between 31 and 49, that's what I would have hoped. I thought it was going to be like 800. But yeah, so between 50 and 100, and you can have a way that you can charge your cellular device without, electricity. So if that happens, you could still be able to charge your phone. Let's see. Now, this one's interesting too. I had to Google it because I was curious, because they always say, make sure you have cash, in your go bag, so that you have a little bit of money, you have some money on you to be able to purchase something if you need to leave your home. And I was like, how much? Sure. Are we talking 1,000 euros? Are we talking 500? Are we talking 10? How much money should you have? So let me find my little slide for us. And we are on number 5. So let's see. And the question, of course, is, okay, so Ashley, you're going with between 50 and 30 and 50. So how much cash should you take in total? Should you have, in total in your go bag for emergencies? All right. So should it be $50 to $100 in large bills? So a large bill in this case is not talking about the size, it's talking about the denomination. So that would be either 2 50s or one $100 bill. Or would it be B, 100 to 500 to 300, in small bills? So again, this is not about the size. Would be like 5s, 20s, 10s, so lower denominations. Or would it be 1,000 in a mix of some small, some big bills? So maybe you would have a couple like $300 bills, and then the rest would be 20, 50, 10, something like that. Okay. So lots of people are saying C. Lots and lots of people are saying C. And then we have Ashley with around 30 to 50. So according to this, they say that you should have about 100 to 300 in small bills. ATMs, so automated teller machines, the machine you go to your bank. I will write this in. In English, you'll hear a lot of people say ATM for the machine at your bank, ATM for short. I'll pop that up as a little vocab word. And so a lot of those might not be working, depends on what's going on. So you are going to want to have this money already in this extremely heavy bag. And it should be small bills and coins, 1s, 5s, and 10s, because then you don't have to find someone who can break when you have a big bill and you need to get less money. Then you call breaking a bill. Ooh. Excuse me. It's that time of year for me. So in an emergency, small bills and coins are useful. They're more likely to be accepted in different situations where electronic payments are not possible. Larger bills might be harder for you to be able to have for different transactions. All right, moving on to number 6, and we're talking about clothing now. Okay, so this is our go bag. We're preparing our emergency kit, and we need to figure out something about clothing. Let's see, number 6. Okay, and I need like a nice little sound effect here when this actually works. All right, here we go. Why is it important to have a change of clothes in your go bag? Okay, so a change of clothes. This is an expression we use a lot. So when you have an extra outfit, a change of clothing, a change of clothes, you'll hear that both ways. Extra clothing. Is it A, to replace wet or damaged clothing if needed? B, to have proper hygiene during long evacuations. C, to blend in with local communities you travel to. So bring your lederhosen if you're in Germany. You go to Bavaria. No, I'm kidding. So we have B's, so to have proper hygiene during long evacuations. Let's see. Any other? Everyone's saying B. Okay. So the answer is actually to replace wet or damaged clothing if needed. So forget hygiene. We no longer care how we smell. We're not worried about hair conditioner. We're not worried about any of that. Bless you. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Ashley. So we're not worried about our hygiene so much. We're on the road. We might get wet. Maybe there was some sort of flood and we had to leave. Having a change of clothing will allow you to be warm and dry. The interesting thing with this is that you kind of need to update your go bag, I guess, per season. So if a disaster happens in the middle of winter and you have clothing for summer, that might not be so practical if you have like a winter coat or, So there's some planning that goes on with this. So yeah, I thought that was kind of another little extra tip kind of thing to hear. This go bag, I don't know. This go bag makes me want to go crazy, I think. So number 7, what are we doing? So we're talking about important documents, which we talked about a bit in our lesson earlier. And so let me remove this and add our next slide. It's a French expression. I'm going to kill it if I say it. So avoir so hates means like wish to your health. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. And I'm sorry to abuse your beautiful language. I'm very sorry. All right, so let's see. Number 7. Here we go. So in our extremely heavy, complicated go bag, we also need, what should you consider when packing important documents in your go bag for long-term storage? So how should you store these documents? We said in our live that we have all kinds of different documents that we should definitely have in paper form. I really think that's a smart thing. In today's day and age where everything is, online, like, yeah. My French accent is horrible. I'm so sorry. Okay, so A, keeping them in their original folders. B, storing them in a waterproof bag. C, keeping them close to the door. You will most likely exit in an emergency. Okay, so what's the most important thing with storing our documents, our important documents? We can also brainstorm which documents should be part of the go bag. What can you tell me? Which documents should be part of our go bag? And you can also guess. C. Okay, secure, you're going with C. Keeping them close to the door, you will most likely exit in an emergency. Lorena, you're going with storing them in a waterproof bag. Okay, any other guesses? We got 13 people here. Last week in our live stream, just for everyone who's here, if you don't know, I will go live with the second half of this live stream tomorrow at 3 p.m., which is basically 2 hours earlier than now. Hey, Mel's darling. And yeah, so I hope you can make it. Last week we had 27 people in our lesson. It was so cool. I'm so stoked. Okay, C, keeping them close to the door. Okay, so we have 2 C's and we have a B. The actual answer is that keep them in your go bag. So you have this one bag. It's very heavy. Keep it in your bag, and then you keep them in a waterproof, like a Ziploc bag, or they also have specific waterproof bags you can keep documents in. Some of the documents that you should have in there should be a photocopy of your ID, your passport, your bank information, I think. I don't know, maybe not. Medical records, passport, keep them in the go bag. Yeah, that's a light thing. I could do that. I think that really makes a lot of sense. If your house burns down, you don't have those documents, but if you can grab that go bag, then maybe. Yo, keep them in place, preparing against fire. Yeah, keep them in a place, exactly. So let's see. Moving on now. Now this is so cool. I mean, this blew my mind. Probably you all know this already, and you're like, Jen, I already knew this. But let's see. Maybe not. Maybe I'm going to also teach you something new as well. Let's see. We're moving on to some food. And then there's a certain food that can last for 30 years. That is my definition of non-perishable. Let's see. Sorry, number 8. Okay. Here we go. Which of these, ta-da, which of these can last for more than 30 years or up to 30 years if stored properly? So it's not wet, it's dry, it's in a proper container. Is it canned meat, pasta, or rice? Yeah, this blew my mind. Let's see what you have to say. Rice, pasta, or canned meat can last for so long. Hi, Yuki darling. Hello, Jen. I just arrived at my mother-in-law's house. I missed most of your live today. I will catch up later with the archives. I'm glad you made it safely. Give her a little hug from me. So, okay. So Sakura's going with C, canned meat can last for 30 years. What can you tell me? What do you think? Rice, pasta, canned meat again? Okay. So anybody else guesses here for the longevity, how long it can last? It feels incredible. Mel's is going with rice. Yuki's going with rice. Any other guesses? Let's get maybe one more guess. Because right now we're kind of like tied. Okay, thank you very much, Yo, for asking. Canned is when you have something in a metal container. It has a top, it has a bottom, and it's round. A lot of times you can buy tomato sauce in it, and you need a can opener to open it up. It's not a jar, it's not made of glass, it's made of metal, and it stores food. So Lorena's saying pasta and rice are perishable, I think. Okay, Ashley's going with rice. The correct answer here, Ashley, and everyone, is rice. Rice can be, if it is stored properly, it doesn't get wet, it's in a proper container, it can last up to 30 years. I was like, and here are some other ones. So pasta, if it's stored properly, it can last up to 10 years. So it's kept dry and airtight. Dry and airtight. Canned meat, tuna, chicken, ham, salmon, about 5 years. Canned vegetables and corn and peas and things like that. So again, in a metal container. Also about 5 years. But I found this, so this is also really amazing. But salt, sugar, and honey, if kept properly, airtight and dry, in a dry container, never spoil. So I guess if they were to find an archaeological site where honey was stored properly from thousands of years ago, they would still be able to eat the honey if it's stored properly. The correct answer, yes. So pasta too. So rice can develop insects. Yes, so it has to be stored properly, airtight. Maybe also it deals with how it was put into the packaging, the kind of standards at the factory and whatnot. You're right. But evidently this is something. Powdered milk can last about 20 years. And yeah, freeze-dried vegetables, which we talked about earlier, can last up to 25 years. That's amazing to me. So rice, 25 to 30 years if kept proper, and maybe done at a factory that has really, really good hygiene. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I was surprised. So let's see. Let's move on to how to remove germs the best. So let me see. Let me pull up our slide. And we're on question number 9. We have 2 more questions. Hey, Alessio, dear. So let's see. Question number 9. All right. Here it goes. And we're talking about germs, like I said. And so, what is the most effective way to remove germs from your hands? Okay. So, all of these nasty germs and bacteria and whatnot, what is the best way to get rid of it? Anything contains a lot of protein doesn't last long. Huh. Okay. That's interesting. I had no idea. So, A, hand sanitizer with 60% alcohol. B, washing your hands with soap and water. Or C, rubbing hands together without water. So just kind of like, we're done with this. We found honey in ancient Egypt. I wonder if you could still eat it. So here we go. Which one do you think? A, B, or C? Hand sanitizer with a high percentage of alcohol. B, washing your hands with soap and water. Sakura is saying B. Rubbing your hands. Yuki's saying B. Alessia is also guessing B. Lorena's going with A. Let's stick to alcohol. Mel's is going with B. Any other guesses? Otherwise, I will tell you. Oh, that was that. That was why that was not there. Okay. I'm adding the boiling water thing. It's coming back. All right. So the correct answer is actually B, washing with soap and water. And yeah, so washing your hand with soap and water, evidently bacteria sticks to the soap better, and therefore you're able to wash it away easier. Now, this is something interesting. Hey, Anna, yes, B is correct. Yes, B is correct. But something interesting. So you have shampoo. The first step when you wash your hair, perhaps, is shampoo. And then the second step, to make your hair softer, you use conditioner. And I read that you should not wash your hands with conditioner because there's something in that makes the germs stay. So wash your hands with soap. If you want to make soap yourself, it also has a shelf life. So that means it's not non-perishable. It's not non-perishable, yes. It is perishable. How about that? Then it has a shelf life, let me write that down, of about 3 to 5 years, 3 years, 3 to 4 years. So soap doesn't last forever. At some point it goes bad. Shelf life, 3 to 4 years. I suppose that C, because the surgeon washed their hands before operating. Yes, but they washed their hands with soap. Before Corona, washing with soap and water. After that, hand sanitizer was 60% alcohol. So hand sanitizer is good in a situation where you do not have water and you do not have soap. Better than nothing. The best thing happens to be, evidently, soap and good old-fashioned soap and water. And shelf life, I've popped it up, I think. Here we go. Shelf life is how long something lasts. So rice, we just learned, has a shelf life, if stored properly from a good factory, about 25 to 30 years. And soap has about 3 to 4. All good. This is all fun. It's all about having fun here and just guessing things. Nothing is serious here. And last but not least, our question number 10. I think it best is a combination of A and B. So having the alcohol and having that. So yes, maybe. All right. Let me add our number 10 and we are moving on to, so we said earlier, like I think our first question was how much water? Yuki, you're supposed to have 3.8 liters of water per person in your emergency bag. It's a lot of water. And so when you have that, it also has a shelf life. So here we go. Let's talk about that. These are all things I didn't know. I thought it was interesting, so I wanted to share it with you because it's, I have these questions. So yeah, you have water. Is it good forever? Do you need to prepare this bag one time in your life? But no, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. So here, how often should you rotate bottled water in your go bag to ensure freshness? So you have water in your bag, and how long can it stay there until it's actually no longer really good to have it in there? Is it A, every 6 to 12 months you should replace the water? Is it B, every 18 months? Or is it C, once every 5 years? What do you think? Okay, so Sakura is going with A, Yuki's going with B, Alicia's going with A. I actually can't remember the answer. I had to look. A. All right, so lots of A's, we got a B. Our answer is A, every 6 to 12 months, you should take the water out of the bag, replace it with new water, and then that way, because sometimes with the water, especially if it's in plastic, then you have the chemicals from the plastic getting into it. Yeah, so it's important to exchange it for something new. And I knew that I had this point in here because I was so curious earlier about boiling water. So you can boil water for 3 minutes. I don't know if that removes the plastic though in this case, because that's not really germs or chemicals. Well, it is chemicals, but it isn't germs. But you can boil water for up to 3 minutes if you live in a high altitude. So Yuki, I think you live in a high altitude. If you get water and you want to purify it, you can boil it for 3 months if you live above 2,000 meters, which is 6,562 feet. You can boil water and then you can drink it. If you live and under that, then you need to only boil it, for 1 minute and you can drink it. Plastic bottle. Yeah, plastic bottles. So a lot of times our water comes in a plastic bottle. A bottle is the container you drink out of. Yeah, so that's it. That is our quiz for today. I hope you had fun and learned something like I did. Yeah, and maybe really quickly, what are some other items that you feel should go into a go bag, into our emergency bag? What do you think? What can you tell me? Any other items that were not mentioned here that you think would be a good part, a good item to put into this extremely heavy bag? I don't know how this works. I want to see one of these things. I actually prepared one of these bags. I lived in California during the Northridge earthquake in 94, I think it was, 93, 94, and I could not sleep at night. So I prepared an emergency bag that was so heavy, like this, and I had it underneath my bag, and I knew if something bad happened, there was no way in hell I would have been able to get that out. But the peace of mind of just having preparedness felt good. So I was able to sleep again, just knowing that I had done something to protect myself. So Anna's saying medicines, Lorena's saying medicines. In my opinion, depends on the type of plastic that we use, okay? With a typical plastic, 6 to 12 months or less. Okay, so maybe that's also a factor, depending on the type of plastic. So we have medicines can also be added. I don't know if everybody around the world calls this device this name, but in English, we call that little knife that can do everything. It has the can opener, it has, a cork thingy, it has a screwdriver. We call that a Swiss Army, sorry, I mixed this up, Swiss Army knife. Swiss Army knife. That's a great thing to have in a go bag to be able to open things, cut things. It's all in one device. So solar cream, so sun cream, absolutely. Shoes and eyeglasses and medicines. A vintage radio, definitely. Let me see what else I have on my list. Maybe an emergency whistle, like shh. A whistle, mobile battery, or some sort of charging station. Whistle. So something you can blow if you need help or if you want people to find you. That could be something, a power bank, if it's maybe solar, because you won't have maybe electricity. Other things. We'll talk about this tomorrow. We're going to talk about nuclear war tomorrow. Map of your area in paper. You know, we don't think about that, but having a paper map to be able to navigate, because if we don't have electronic communication, if we don't have that possibility, then we might not know our way around our city without navigation. A map, a paper one. I wouldn't be able to read it anyway, but I would have it. I think this is also a really cool thing to have in your kit, a fire starter kit. Where you can have waterproof matches and a lighter and fire steel. I had to look that up. I had no idea what that was. Fire steel is some sort of electric. It's a metal thing where you can like rub it and it creates a spark, and then you can have cotton or straw or some dry fuzzy things from this time of year. So in winter, probably not so good. So have a fire starter kit, a cap, maybe just to protect your head, matches, so waterproof matches in particular, different hygiene items. So soap, hand sanitizer, toothpaste. Yeah. And they say medications, you should have at least a week's worth of prescription medications. Silic stones for fire. I think that's what this fire steel, or is that a real stone or is that metal? I don't know. So this fire steel thingy is some sort of metal device, but maybe there are certain rocks that you can use. I don't know if you mean that stones. And other than that, I think we've kind of covered it. So yeah, but I think we'll do that tomorrow. Anyway, so thank you so much, guys, for coming and hanging out. Maybe both. Yeah, right. I mean, maybe a pen and a memo pad and tape. Definitely, that's a good idea too. Absolutely. Yeah, to write down different things. Maybe you need to write down an address because you need to get to something. Yeah, totally. Thank you. Lots of love to you, Ashley. Welcome to our community. It's always so nice to have familiar faces and new faces. Hope to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, I can tell you that we will cover, we did that today. We'll cover nuclear war, being caught in a burning building, and what was the other one? There was one more. I'm losing it. I don't know. One more home invasion, like a robbery. So a lot of things to kind of cover here. Again, this topic is not to freak people out. It's to be able to brainstorm, to come up with ideas, to practice our English. I love these topics where it's kind of like, what? We're learning this? But I think it's kind of fun to think of something different. Anyway, thank you, Lorena. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Yuki. Who else is here? Sakura. Oh, I keep doing this. Hello, Jacqueline, and goodbye. Welcome to our lesson and goodbye. Hope to see you tomorrow. Bye, Anna. Bye, Mohammed. Bye, Mel's. Bye, Yo. Also a new face. Am I missing anyone? Alessio, of course. And I think that I've gotten everybody. Okay. Anyway, thank you. If I didn't mention your name, I appreciate you being here nonetheless, and have a great day. Take care.